I also have a question about turning in the packet.
Yes.
Is the only way we can turn it in like at school, or could we like take pictures and email it to you?
You can pictures and email to me.
Okay, because I kind of figured like on Friday it's going to be really hectic with everybody else like coming in textbooks.
Well, seniors, you have 2 days because you have Thursdays you can pick up your cap and gown, right?
No, it's Thursday is like A through K, and or something like that, and then Friday is like what the rest of everybody else. So they just pick it off.
From what I heard, seniors can turn it in Thursday when they're picking up their cap and gown. Those that are picking it up Thursday can drop your packets off that day if it's done.
Oh, okay.
And if not, then yes, you can take pictures and send it to me.
Okay. I'll probably just take pictures and email it to you, so I don't have to like go back a second. I don't know what day I'm gonna finish.
By Thursday, yeah, that's fine. Do you have CAM scanner by chance?
I don't think so.
It's an app on your phone. It's okay if you don't. Okay. Alrighty. Garen, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Sorry, give me a second. Can you go over 12 through 15?
On what unit?
Unit 11.
Unit 11, 12 through 15. Yes. That's the conic sections, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to go to the whiteboard. Okay, can you guys see it okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that was unit 11, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, starting off with number 12, it reads the center is -4, 1, and a point on the circle is 2, 3. Is that correct? Or 2, -3? And it's asking us to find the equation of the circle. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we know the center, we know the point. What you're gonna have to do is, I'm not gonna plot those points, but if you had the center and a point on the circle, how would you find the radius? What would you say that is? The radius is the what between those 2 points? Would you agree it's the distance between those 2 points?
Yeah.
So if the center is -4, 1, and the point is 2, -3, now they're not correctly plotted, but if that is my center and that is my point, do you agree the distance between would give me the radius?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we have to do. The distance formula is the square root of, and I set the skeleton up, quantity squared plus quantity squared with minus signs in the middle, and I just subtract the x's and then subtract the y's. So that would be -4 minus 2 and 1 minus -3. Can you guys double check that? And that is correct for the x's, -4 minus 2, and for the y's, 1 minus -3. What would that give me on the first one in parentheses? -6?
Yeah, -6.
And then the other one, +4?
Yeah.
So 36 plus 16, and what is 36 plus 16?
And 52.
All right, does 52 break down to any numbers that can be taken out? Yeah, because 52 divided by 2 is 26 divided by 2 is what?
13.
13. So this is 2, 2, 13. The 2 comes out. So what is the distance?
2 root 13.
2 root 13. So your radius is 2 root 13. Okay, now this here was a little extra. We didn't have to do this part here on this particular problem, and I'll explain why. Because the equation is quantity squared plus quantity squared equals r squared. So we're going to end up squaring anyway. So we want it, if this is r, then r squared is the square root of 52. I'm going to erase that and start over. Okay. If r is the square root of 52, what is r squared?
52.
52. So what would our final equation look like? If the center is negative 4, 1, what would the final equation look like?
And
X minus 4 or plus 4?
plus 4.
And then plus y minus 1 or plus 1?
Minus.
Quantity squared equals r squared, which we just figured out was 52. Oh, did I lose a number there? Is that a 4?
Yeah.
And that there is your answer. Any questions on that one?
Nope.
Andrea, any questions on that one? What was that?
I was just confused because of the point. I forgot
Yeah.
how to do that.
Yeah, it's, yeah. Because it's not horizontal or vertical when you plot them, so you can't just count how far over. You actually have to do the distance formula.
Yeah.
Okay, can I erase?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so this is still unit 11. And I'm now doing number 13. And it gives you the vertex is 5, 2. It tells us it opens left. And a point on the parabola is 2, 1. Okay, so what you're going to do is, if it opens left, then it must be a parabola because circles don't open either way, nor does an ellipse, and a hyperbola opens up and down or right and left. So if it's just opening left, it must be a parabola. Since it's a parabola, is it x equals, or is it y equals x squared or x equals y squared if it's opening sideways?
X equals y squared.
Okay, so x equals a quantity squared, y minus k plus h. Okay, so vertex. Y minus 5 or minus 2?
Minus 2.
And then plus 5. And how do I find the a value if they gave us a point on the parabola?
Plug in x and y.
1 equals a and y is 2. And I think I messed up somewhere. Let me just double check. I did. Can you guys tell me where I messed up?
Oh, you put the 1 in, wait. Oh, wait, never mind.
No,
That's
you were
not what I
right.
was thinking. Oh,
What
Yeah.
should x be? X should not be 1. It should be
2.
2. And right here, instead of that 2, what should that be?
1.
All right. So 2 equals a times 1 minus 2 is what? 1 minus 2 is -1.
Yes.
And -1 squared is just 1. So 2 equals a plus 5. So subtract the 5, and what does a equal?
-3.
-3. Now, whenever you plug in a point, it'll automatically come out positive or come out negative the way it should be. X equals -3. That makes sense because it's opening left. I'm right here, y minus 2, quantity squared plus 5. Make sense?
Yeah. Is 14 similar to this one?
Vertex opens up. Yes, it is. But
Okay, I think
you got that one?
yeah,
Can
I
you
think I
tell
can
me
do that one.
what would change right here if it's opening up instead of sideways? Instead of x equals, what would it be?
Y equals x squared.
It would be
Or
y
what do you-
equals, yeah.
Y equals.
Yep, it would be this for number, what number was that? Number 15?
Yeah.
Yep, and then you plug in your vertex, plug in your point, and find your A. And because it's opening up, A should automatically come out to be positive.
Okay, I can do 14.
You can do 14 as well?
Yeah, can you go
Oh,
over 15?
yes, and let me fix this. I put a 15 there, but this really corresponds to 14. Okay. All right. Questions before I move on?
No.
Okay, I'm going to clear it. And I'm still doing unit 11, and I'm now doing number 15. Okay,
Yes.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, vertices are -3, 6, and -3, -4. And the foci are -3, 1 plus or minus √21. Okay, I am going to sketch it to see what's going on. All right, -3, 6. -3, -4. Okay. And then the foci are negative. Well, let's find the center first. Center, you either count your way to the middle or you use the midpoint. Since this is not graph paper, for me, I like to just use the midpoint, which is -3 plus -3 divide by 2, and then 6 plus -4 divide by 2. And that's coming from the 2 endpoints here. What does that give me? -6 over 2 and what over 2?
2 over 2.
So my center is -3, 1, which makes sense because that looks right about center-ish for those 2 points. Okay, what you're going to have to do next is figure out whether this is an ellipse or a hyperbola. So what you're going to do is figure out first what's the length between my center to either endpoint. Let's figure that out first. From -3,1 to -3,6, what is that length?
Wouldn't it be 10?
Just this one here, from this
Oh,
point.
just that one. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I was thinking the whole thing.
No, just that piece. -3,1 to -3,6. So if the whole thing's 10, would that be 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is root 21 bigger than 5 or smaller than 5? Without a calculator, is it bigger than 5 or smaller than 5? Can you tell? Can anybody
Smaller.
tell? How can you tell
Smaller.
it's smaller than 5?
Because root 25 is 5.
You're correct. So root 21, if you did plug in your calculator, it's approximately 4.6, which is smaller than 5. So do you see where the focus is -3,1 plus or minus 4.6? So it's going to be like this. So if the foci are on the inside, would this be an ellipse or a hyperbola?
Ellipse.
An ellipse. Now, had this root 21 been plus or minus root 27, which is bigger than 5, then those little stars would have been outside, which would make it a hyperbola. Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, we have enough for part of it. We know it's an ellipse, so we know it's going to be x minus plus y minus, and then equals 1 with squareds there. And the center is what we're going to use. So x minus -3, the center is right here, would give me what? X minus 3 or plus 3?
Plus 3.
Plus
Wait.
3. Yep.
Yeah.
And then y minus 1 or plus 1?
-1.
Minus 1. Okay, we already found the length from my center to my endpoint is 5. Is that A or B? B goes with the Y and A goes with the X. Is this 5 A or B if it's going up and down on the Y axis?
B.
It'll be B. So underneath the Y minus 1 squared, I would put B squared, which is 25. Before I go any further, any questions on anything that I've done so far?
Nope.
Nope. Any thoughts on how I'm going to find this number here?
No, I kind of forgot.
Okay. Anyone else? Andrea, Jack? It's okay if you guys don't remember. Just want to throw it out and see if anybody has any thoughts. Okay. There were things, the most common way was the way we're going to do here. The most common way was using your focal length formula, which was c squared equals, since it's plus, it's the absolute value of a squared minus b squared. And to get rid of the absolute value, we just did large minus small. Do you guys kind of remember that?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll worry about the large and small after. Right now, we know B is 5. We know that because we figured that out earlier. We don't know A because if I knew A, I would put it right there already. But I do know C. I don't have it like in my picture anywhere, but C is this length right here. Can you figure out what that length is?
4.6.
Yes, and how did you get that? Because the part we went up and down?
Yeah, root 21.
Okay, we went up and down the 4.6, which was the root 21. So that there is your C. Okay, so I'm going to plug it in. Before I do, which one's going to be bigger, A or B? If the foci move in the same direction as the major axis. I'm going to repeat that. Which one's bigger, the A squared or the B squared, if the focus, those purple stars, move in the direction of the major axis? They're going up and down. So which one's going to be bigger?
B.
The B. Okay, so root 21 squared equals B is 5. So 5 squared minus A squared. Square root of 21 squared is 21 or equals 25. Subtract 25. What's 21 minus 25?
-4.
And that shouldn't freak us out because how can I get rid of that negative?
Divided by -1.
Mm-hmm. And what does A squared equal? 4. And as tempting as it is to square root, we can, but what goes here, A or A squared?
A squared.
A squared. That one was this particular one was a little bit harder than what we've done in class because of the root 21. You had to figure out that that was your C value. And you had to figure out that because it was smaller than 5, the stars are inside, which makes it an ellipse. Questions on that one? Uh-huh.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Any other questions on any other part of the packet, either one of you?
Could you do number 10 on unit 12?
On unit what?
On unit 12, please.
Unit 12, number 10?
Yeah.
Is that the investment problem?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Andrea, say that again. Unit 12, number 10, correct?
Yes.
Okay. If $1,500 is invested at 5%, compounded continuously, find its value after 6 years. The key word there is compounded continuously. Because it's continuously, there's two formulas that are on your paper.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is this, the PERT one. Which one would we use, the first one or the second one if it's compounded continuously?
I don't remember.
Don't remember? It's okay. Garen, do you remember? And it's okay if you don't.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Which one of these formulas do we use if it says compounded continuously?
The PERT.
The PERT. Now this is, unfortunately, was the unit that we completely learned on distance learning because we weren't in the classroom at all for this unit. So compounded continuously is the PERT. So that means there is no in. It's not compounded monthly or quarterly. It's compounded continuously. That's why the in over here is not in the PERT formula. Okay, so we don't use that one. And what else is it giving us? $1,500 is invested at. That's your initial amount. P is always the initial amount, so that's the 1,500. R is your rate, and it says 5%, so what would that be? 0.5 or 0.05?
0.05.
0.05. And T is the amount of time we're leaving it in the bank, and it says for 6 years. A is the amount we have after 6 years, and that's what we're looking for. So we write down A equals 1,500. E raised to the 0.05 times 6.
Wait, I thought it was 5 years.
For number 10, it's 5 years for number 9.
Oh, maybe I looked at the wrong one.
It's okay. But please tell me if I did make any of the mistakes, because I do that often. 1,500 invested at 5%, find its value after 6 years. Okay, is there any variable on this side of the formula? E is a number in the calculator, so is there any variable on this side? No? So I'm not undoing anything. I don't have to take log of both sides or raise both sides to reciprocal exponent. It's ready to just plug in the calculator. Andrea, do you have a scientific calculator like this on you?
I do, but it's in the other room.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go over with you how to plug it in. You won't be able to see it as I'm typing it in, so I'll try to show it up here every now and then. Okay. So you type in 1,500, and then you hit your second E key. And I don't know if you can see it there. Can you guys see that?
A little bit.
Okay. It says E raised to what power? And it has open parentheses. I'm going to type in 0.05 times 6, close parentheses, and hit equal. I'm going to put that up there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it or not.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. And that's pretty much it. That there is your answer. Let me find my pen. This is number 10. So that was $2,024.79. So if you invest $1,500 in this bank for 6 years with that interest rate, you'd end up with, after 6 years, you'd end up with $2,024.79. Make sense?
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. Any others?
How would you do number 8? I know I don't have the calculator on me, but
It's okay. Number 8 from unit 12?
yeah.
Okay, on that one, I'm gonna pick this up. Is your calculator similar to this one, or is it a little different?
It's a little different, but it's basically the same.
Is it a Texas instrument?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is your E key is right here above the LN key.
Mm-hmm.
So you would hit second, and then your E key, and I hit the wrong one. Second, and then the E key.
Mm-hmm.
And can you guys see where it says E raised to the X?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't say X, but E raised to the blank.
Yeah.
And then you would just type in the 2.
Oh, okay.
And you don't have to close the parentheses. I did. And then after that, you just hit equals, and there's the answer.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, any others?
Could you go over 25 and 26 on unit 12?
25 and 26? Sure. That's the one where they give you certain logs and you have to rearrange it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Garen, it was unit 12, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to write down what's given. It says log of 3 equals 0.4771,
Yes.
and log of 4 equals D. Then evaluate, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget there's always a should know, and since the bases are 10 here, the should know is log base 10 of 10 equals 1. That just means when I'm using numbers, I can use 3 and or 4 and or 10 using multiplication, division, and exponents. Okay. What numbers did you ask for, Garen? Was it 24, 25, or 25, 26?
25, 26.
Okay, so 25 is log of 2.
Yes.
Okay, so can I get 2 using 3 and or 4 and or 10 using multiplication, division, or exponents? Remember, radicals are the same thing as exponents.
Oh, we could use the log 4 to the 1/2.
Good job. Do you agree that 4 to the 1/2 is the same as the square root of 4, which is the same as 2? So these two are equivalent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we want it to be just log of 4, not log of 4 to the 1/2. So what do I do with that 1/2 power?
And you push it to the front.
Push it to the front. Good. So that gives me 1/2 times log of 4, which now I'm ready to plug in 1/2 times what is log of 4?
D.
D. So 1/2 D or D over 2, depending on how you would want to write it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, 26 is log of 1/3. And what can we do? Log of 3 raised to what power?
-1.
-1. And same as before, I'm not ready to plug in until I get rid of that exponent. What do I do with it? You said it earlier.
Push it to the front.
Push it to the front. So that gives me -1 times log of 3, which is -1 times what is log of 3?
0.4771.
So what is the final answer?
-0.4771.
Yep. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Good. Any others from any of the packet? I will have one more day. Just remember that so you guys don't feel like freaking out that we're turning it in Friday.
I was just going to turn mine in on Thursday when I go get my cap and gown.
Okay. Okie dokie. So you'll get yours in. Okay, so then you may not be able to ask those questions. So if you have any between now and then, Garen, you can email me and I can send you pictures.
All right. I think I'll be okay.
Okay. All right. So Garen, who do you have attending your graduation?
My parents and my 2 sisters.
That's nice. And what day are you graduating?
May 29th at 8:15.
What day does that land on?
Friday.
Friday. I'll be out there Friday, but I won't be out there in the morning. I'm out there Thursday and Friday helping, but I'm on the evening session. So I won't get to see either one of you.
Well, I have it at 8:15 p.m.
Oh, p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, then I may see you out there. Be cheering for you. Andrew, I'll be cheering for you in my heart. All righty. Well, since both of you guys are seniors, I cannot say when you're on campus next year, come by and say hi. So when you come back and visit next year, come by and say hi.
I will for sure.
I will.
Okay. Love you guys, miss you guys, and I'll see you Thursday, but maybe not you, Garen.
I don't know. I might.
Okay.
Come on. I'm not sure because I might have some other stuff to do.
Okay. All right. Well, love you guys, miss you guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.